¡Eh, chupacabra! Mire, chico, chupacabra.
Some people say they have seen a chupacabra. With some tequila, he was hunting the lambada. He doesn't know where he has come from. Making out a Mexicano looking like a dum-dum. They say that he's a monkey. I think the whole story's just a little monkey.
Hay un criatura que se llama chupacabra. Es muy bello como el cubi para mamá. Debemos salvar algunas barbaras. ¡Oh, chupacabra!
Now, speaking of Nicaragua, I've got a nice long leaf blend right here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, just it's a nice cigar. It's a Nicaraguan cigar. It's called Artesian Nicaraguan, which good smoking cigar.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
I always wanted a nice big cigar.
I always wanted a nice big anything.
And on that bombshell, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this week's edition of the Squatchable podcast, where we take a look at, some really bad YouTube videos. But we do it for you, the fans, who tune in every week. We love you guys. Joining me, as always, from the man, the myth, the legend, Power Breakdown.
I wish I had something to say at this point.
Nice. And joining me from his lair, where he reviews really terrible movies, Chubbs.
Greetings to everyone.
And returning from his sojourn to the Emerald Isle, Kevin, welcome back.
Good morning, YouTube fans. That was a really bad one.
Just sit in it. Don't ever try that again.
Just
that kind of stuff is for rehearsals. You don't.
I'm sorry. I was glad that there was one time that Nikki and I actually were on the radio at the same time, because I think that people thought that Nikki really secretly lives as an Irish guy on the end of the radio on the other side. I think they're Clark. I think she's my Clark Kent.
I'm going to forever hold that against her now. There will be no Nikki this week. She's busy helping her in-laws move with some technology. If you enjoy Power Breakdown, Chubbs or Kevin, you may enjoy the badly drawn misadventures of two Bigfoot. Head on over to Facebook, Bigfooting with Keith and Colin, where this week we see the return of Scully, the evil demonic skull, hell-bent on redecorating people's homes against their will. Without further ado, I am your host, Richard Allen. Let's just get into it. Our first story comes from, what can we say about this dude? Except that some say he's a knobhead. It is, of course, the eternally awesome Matthew Johnson. It is that time of the month where I can rag about this douchebag. In this 20-minute video that both Kevin and myself had to grit our teeth and bear with, we see the infamous cult leader talk about a woman named Rachel, who's apparently talking to his main hookup, Zorth. He spends, 60 minutes repeating the same information. It's absolutely... I do not recommend this video to anyone. I'm going to give it a thumbs down right now. But we see him say that Rachel and Ken are talking with Zorth. And then he goes on to say what he always says, that Zorth is part of the International Council of 12, and nobody talks to them except for him, who is the 13th. Just usual rhetoric, Dr. J crap. It's really the last 5 minutes of this video that are particularly interesting, in which Dr. J seems to suggest that the whole COVID crisis will be resolved when Trump is re-elected. And, he gets a little political with it. I mean, it's not as bad as the time he went on about the QAnon people, which is just trailer park Scientology. But, that's my opinion. Phil, what did you think of this video?
Well, I think it confirms my hypothesis that this is exactly, if you listen to this video and listen to what he's saying, this is exactly how religions began. Not just cults, although this can bloom into a cult. But this is how religions begin. That's how Scientology began, with a guy like him. And it's a little worrisome. When you get these belief systems that are blooming from an idea that can only be considered by anyone with a rational mind to be preposterous, ridiculous, impossible, and yet they have followers. You say followers, that means cult, but
cultists.
Yeah, but and as far as the political side of it, I think he was talking about COVID. Big deal. There are like 8 different sides to the COVID argument. So I just kind of blew that off, and I just kind of turned it off at that point. I did listen to what he was saying about the what's her name that has that one YouTube channel, and I did watch one of her videos. She's along the same vein, except no one really pays much attention to her. I really don't think she's not a leader type. She's a subservient type of an individual who's trying to kneel to the greater, universe, and try to spout off what she's gathering from the universe. And of course, that's all malarkey. If I can use that term, malarkey, if I can borrow that. But anyway, it's I mean, there's stuff like that all the time. There's no such thing as mind speak. No evidence at all to support mind speak. It's strictly belief system.
But it was
channeling,
not channeling.
Channeling,
very clear to bring that up.
Channeling, no, not real. Absolutely not real. No evidence at all to even suggest channeling is a real thing. So I mean, it goes beyond woo. It's stuff that's been around for centuries, actually. The channeling bit. And it's like, I'm not going to start naming, churches and stuff like that, but I mean, you've got things like exorcism. It's not a real thing. So, and I could say that being, raised Catholic, I could say exorcisms is not a real thing. So that's just the way I'm coming at it. I don't want to poke fun at the guy because he's pathetic. He's sad. But I'm not going to, I'm not going to feel sorry for the guy either. I mean, he's chosen his own path, as they say, and he's just going to have to live with it. He looks like he's living with it just fine. He's got a lot of friends who support him, which is also very sad and pathetic. But anyway, that's my thoughts. Every time I see him and he starts opening his mouth and talking, I'm like, well, there you go right there, L. Ron Hubbard.
Alan Hentages in the chat raises a good point that he's stolen parts of New Age religions. There's nothing new or original about him. He's just taken stuff other people have said and melded it all together. Chubbs, give us something positive.
Oh, I don't know if it's positive, but I like how he speaks so much that he's in contact with this Zorth. That no, nobody else is talking to him. It's just me, this lady. It's something else. Like he's almost a little hurt that Zorth might leave him. It's this lady's not doing that. This is something else. Because don't forget, he was the chosen on the council. So he's the 13th out of the billions on the planet. But anyway, this couldn't be the same Zorth. So she must be mistaken.
I just think it's. I really just think it's irrelevant to talk about the points of what he was saying, is what I'm trying to say. Anything that he brings up, I can just I don't even find it worth discussing about what he thinks about her, about the mind speak crap, about any of that stuff. They're both wrong. I mean, I don't care what either of them say. They're both wrong. And it's garbage. Sorry. That's just the way it is.
All righty. Kevin, do you have anything to say?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Well, the thing that I would say about this video is again, I'm not going to comment on the last 5 minutes and the COVID thing because, to be honest with you, I think people should find their own information and not listen to Dr. J about that, because it's clearly, as Phil says, there's lots of different people who have different opinions about it. What I did find interesting about the video is again the sort of pedantic nature of the way that he was portraying things. Again, like Chubb says, like everybody says, it was a question of the definition between speaking to, speaking through, and speaking, and all these different types of conversations that people have. Now, you can you can believe in that or you can't. I mean, that's not for me to decide. Uh, but and I understand Phil's position in saying it's not real at all. But what I will say is that he does do an adequately reasonable job explaining the difference between channeling and speaking to something. But then it sort of devolves into this sort of parliamentary, organizational flow chart of how the world works. And I can't imagine that anybody actually gets to the last 5 minutes, because by the end of the time, you're really wondering whether, parliamentary procedure is being followed, because is he speaking through the chair at that point in time, or are we speaking to the chair? And is literally, and is this other lady literally the chair? So I find it to be somewhat, if you want to know about parliamentary procedure and the organizational flowchart about how the world is broken down in through I mean, it's like, like literally it's not spellbinding. And so clearly he's got his viewpoint. I don't hold that to be true. Elements of it I do. Like I said, I've always said that, but would I make life and death decisions based on Dr. J's opinion of things? No.
No, well, it was nice of him to offer up, a definition between telepathy, and channeling.
Yeah.
But
well, I agree with him on that.
Yeah. I mean, of course. Yeah.
I agree with the definition.
That's because it can be defined.
Yes.
Even though either one is bullshit.
Yeah.
It can still be defined in the dictionary. I mean, you can find it in the dictionary.
Right.
It doesn't give it credence, but
no.
But also, you talk about society and how it develops. It's all a matter of it. This happens in small steps, but according to him, it breaks down in a completely opposite way.
Right. Well, the interesting thing that I'll say about this over time will be what happens, unfortunately, when there's lots of people who say religions start as these cult movements, but what happens when that person expires from the planet? And I'm not asking for anything bad to happen to anybody, but I'm just saying is, at what point does it devolve into other people then becoming the world, the person who speaks for these creatures? Because it seems
will back down.
Yeah, you think so?
Gate.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That's the way religion has started.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that who defines what that is? Of course, he says
The next person in line.
He's a fucking narcissist. He can't imagine a world where he doesn't exist.
No, it'll be another narcissist, one that will probably imagine more of a mid-level marketing scheme to go along with it.
Bloke who lives in my country and who I spoke to seems like an all right guy. He mentions him in the video.
Yeah,
just like he has handpicked his followers and his lieutenants because they are followers. Yeah. I can't imagine any of his lieutenants having the balls to take the reins. No. The only way this ends is Jonestown or Heaven's Gate. That's literally the only way this is going to end.
Right, but all I'm saying is that you can have a situation where a person gets in a car accident, then the next thing you know, they're no longer able to speak for the creature or the person that he's saying that he is. And then at that point in time, who then takes over? Now,
Well, you've been in his camp. I mean, which of his lieutenants has got the most balls?
well, it's not a matter of I'll put
It's
it
not
to
a
you.
matter of that.
I'll put it to you this way: there's people I think that actually would be able to do it.
Yeah, you don't have to be narcissistic. All you have to be is histrionic.
Right.
Sociopathic would be good enough.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is if you believe it, if you believe in telepathy, and if you believe that all these different things are happening, I think I would know who actually should do it, which are none of the people that he names in the video. But so that's my thing about it is, but it'll be a flat out thing. Like who says, as with most modern churches that supposedly have this casting down of a prophet or somebody who speaks for something, you're going to have everybody in the world saying, I'm the next person to do it. And your Gordon Dodds person that's there, who knows? I mean, this is the thing. This is the Alexander the Great problem. When Alexander the Great died,
it led to a bunch of civil wars and a huge.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the dude caused so much pain and misery because he didn't have a successor, and that's what I see occurring here. Either Heaven's Gate or a bunch of minor scuffles where his followers break up and follow different, of his lieutenants.
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
But I think it could very well be a Scientology type of situation where they did have somebody to take over, David Miscavige, who was basically the second in command at that point. And in fact, many people blame David Miscavige for offing L. Ron Hubbard, locking him away and basically allowing him to die. And he took over the business, quote unquote, the business. So all you need is that type of an individual that just claims, hey, this is my divine right, and I'm the head now.
Yeah, but I see it going in the way of sort of the Latter-day Saints. You got Brigham Young, who's in the one side, and then you've got Mrs. Smith, who says no, our kids should get it. I mean, who's gonna like say, okay, Cynthia, you got to move off your property because we're taking over, or Source coming to live with us now? I mean, you know what I mean? There's a lot of different. Maybe I'm making the light of it. I know a lot of people say, okay, well, Dr. J's dangerous and everything like that. I tend to think that people have a lot more sort of sense than that, but I'm not saying they shouldn't listen to him. I'm not saying they should listen to him. I'm not saying any of this.
Don't listen to him.
Well,
don't listen to him. For real.
Right.
The only one of his lieutenants that I could see taking the reins should something happen to him has since jumped ship. So I don't know who's left that could do it.
Yeah, I don't even know who you're talking about. Is it me?
No, Patrick Epistemon is the only one.
All right. Well, who knows? I'm not going to just come out of the bag.
If there's money in it, Davies could show up and just.
No, I don't think so. I think he's got.
I think
the irons in the pot.
I think you're barking up the wrong tree.
Okay, I was just throwing that out.
I honestly say that if that individual, and I won't even say his name, but if that individual could have never, ever, ever, ever had that happen to him, I swear
he wouldn't have had it. He probably wishes he never met the guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I stand by that.
Alrighty then, we're going to move away from this madness to our next video.
We were just getting going.
Yeah, I know, but I could feel we were going to get in a direction.
Well, we were getting theoretical and.
All right,
maybe we were too.
Bouncing theories. Go.
No, maybe no. Forget it.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
We were just getting too cerebral, I think, for the audience.
Cerebral.
Alan Hentages, Carol Davidson is one of Johnson's lieutenants. You are correct, but she's a mate, and I like her, so be nice.
Yeah, and I don't think that Carol would actually feel comfortable speaking for a non.
Yeah, you'll need a con man.
Budweiser.
Yeah, I don't think Carol would be comfortable speaking for something that wasn't verifiably real. Let's put it that way.
Alrighty, so have a commercial.
Budweiser presents the world's first star in your own radio commercial. Okay, guys, whenever you hear this sound, insert your name.
Hi there.
Your name.
Sorry I'm late. Sometimes there just aren't enough hours in the day to be a neurosurgeon and a swimwear model. Oh, am I thirsty? How about it?
Your name.
Got anything tall and cool? Oh, Budweiser long necks, though.
Your name.
You're so thoughtful. But of course, Bud's the first choice for every occasion. You know, I have a confession to make. If I ever had a son, I'd want to name him.
Your name.
Oh,
Your name.
come here. Now.
Your name. Your name. Your name. Well, you did very well in your first commercial. Have a Bud. You've earned it.
Yeah, that was incredibly creepy. So our next video comes from... Who did this? Cryptid... Oh, this is a Matt Knapp video. Base your ears, ladies and gentlemen, and get ready to pour molten honey directly into your ears. This comes from Phil. Phil sent this to me earlier in the week. It is one of the cryptid tales from Matt Knapp. It is about a reality TV producer that goes to check out a location for a shoot and has a Bigfooty encounter, shall we say? Okay, fine. I'll just sit in that. Chubbs, what did you think of this video?
This is the kind of stories you hope are true, because these are the people that like aren't in the camps we are. Like, you know, TV people looking for something wouldn't be a Bigfooter. So, and I believe he says like he knows somebody but can't mention a name. But these are the kind of stories I hope are true, because these, you can imagine there are, you know, there has to be scouts for these TV shows, and this would happen if, you know, what we're talking about is real.
Good point. Very good point. I agree wholeheartedly with that. This man isn't in the Bigfoot community, no, so his anecdote could be correct. Phil, what did you think?
I think that as soon as Matt Knapp, you know, picked up the campfire tales way of doing things, it turned to gold, and there's a reason for that. If you watched any of his stuff, they're enjoyable, they're mysterious. The way he relates the story is excellent. I can't say enough for the production, his production work.
Yeah,
so a great stuff to watch. The tales, also the stories themselves. I'm sure he handpicks these, or they're sent to him. It's not just something off the the BFRO site. It's like I used to do, but I think that he actually elicits actual people that come out with these stories or relate what's actually happened to them in the past. And this is a believable story. Again, I agree with Chubbs on this. A guy who basically has this different mindset, who goes out to the woods just to look for these areas. You know, he checks out the wildlife and that, and what's close to water. You know, it has to be close enough so that the crews can get out and take showers and whatever. And then he comes across this area, and the guy tells him, "Don't go into that area."
Yeah,
there's a guy there, a local guy. Don't go in there, and he goes in there, and this crap happens to him. I'm not gonna give anything away, but it's quite a story.
The links to the videos are in the description. I highly recommend you check this one out. Kevin, what did you think?
All right, I'm not gonna take away from anything that anybody else has said. However, and this may seem odd to me, but there's, like I said, I've had a weird week, and this week, whenever I watched this video, I heard a certain sound in the back of my, head whenever Matt was talking about it, and all I wanted to know is, when is Matt Knapp going to start doing the doing things for Ken Burns' series of Bigfoot stories, Bigfoot with Ken Burns, and it's I quite frankly almost fell asleep, but that's just the week I've had. I mean, I do think we need to. I do think that he could maybe not put me to sleep, but that was just me this week. I was all fired up after the Dr. J thing, and then it sort of went to a totally different way for me. And I like the story, but Matt does have sort of that Ken Burns effect on me.
Huh.
All right.
That's surprising, actually.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's an ass for every seat, and I might not be the ass.
Nice. Good way of saying that. No. Seriously, I like that. That's a good.
It's back in 2013. My channel was still fairly new. I came out with a couple of videos like this in which I relay a story called "Files from the BFRO."
Is that Power Breakdown or Super
yes. It was Power Break. I think they're still up there. And I remember Sean Evidence telling me that this is great, keep doing it. And then all of a sudden, he relayed an email to me from none other than Matt Moneymaker, who kind of threatened me a bit. And I said, I don't need any more trouble. So I just stopped doing them. But now that Matt is doing it, and I'm like, this is still a great idea. I had considered going back and doing that Tales from the BFRO.
I don't see why the BFRO would have a problem with that. I mean,
well, they didn't. They as a group did not have an issue with it. Matt was saying that at this time I was still with this other group, and he did not want to associate. He didn't want to be associated with the BFR, to be associated with something that would go out and tase a Bigfoot. You know what I'm saying? So he was kind of ragging on me a bit about that. So, but now it's fair game. I mean, I could go back and do it if I wanted to. I think the only reason I don't is Matt is doing such a bang up job. I don't want him to think that I'm trying to, kind of butt into what he's trying to do or steal his thunder.
I think he's doing Cryptid Tales anymore.
Yeah, but I think it basically like maybe what I'm talking about. It all comes down to, what some people will look at or tolerate. Obviously, campfire stories, and I've listened to a ton of them. Around the world, they're presented in a different way at different times. They've got different cadence. They've got different things. And the way that you look at it from that standpoint, like if it's not a driving techno beat, brother, I can't stay awake for more than 5 minutes, and so from my standpoint, it just comes down to just a matter of pure stylistic and aesthetic
preference.
Yeah, that's all it is. The story is great. Don't get me wrong. The story is great. Matt does have a very sort of soothing voice. If I wanted to listen to stories that would put me to sleep, then I think Matt Knapp's stories of bedtime stories would be great. That's all I'm saying.
Wow.
I know. Hey, I'm gonna be. You know what? I'm gonna get shit after every thing that I've said after every one of these videos. I just already know it. Take it as a grain of salt, people. just know that this thing, I'm not trying to like, beat up on your
Right.
heroes or anything else.
Well,
We're
in
not
every
talking about heroes. You just said you wanted to fall asleep after listening to this show. So
Well,
there's
not,
only one way to take that, Kevin. I mean,
well,
come
no, I mean, no, but listen, what I meant is like that. It's it's the it's audio volume to me, which, and if anybody knows me and you know that I go through these different things of periods of time of not being able to sleep. That's a
Okay.
good thing.
Yeah. Let's just say that you, Kevin, you say, just say it this way. Late at night, after I've had my ale,
Yeah.
and I'm sitting down and I'm restless, and I really need to be comforted and relaxed a bit, I'll just turn on one of Matt Knapp's videos. End of problem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
good one.
problem solved.
Problem solved.
Okay, listen to a
Thank you, Matt Knapp.
We love you.
Budweiser presents Real Men of Genius. Real Men of Genius. Today we salute you, Mr. Really Bad Toupee Wearer. Mr. Really Bad Toupee Wearer. More than any neon sign or exploding scoreboard ever could, your chrome dome cover says, "Hey guys, look at me." What could you be thinking? You think it looks natural, but it couldn't look phonier if it had a chin strap. Look at you! Made of space-age fibers, it can repel anything. Rain, wind, snow, and especially young women. I don't think so. So crack open an ice cold Budweiser, Mr. Stud in a rug. Then crack open another for that thing on your head. I don't think it's all straight.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to send you some new commercials.
Yeah, because I think we're out. Okay, coming up now, this one. Okay, this video, which is 12 minutes, 50 seconds long, could have easily have been 5 minutes or less. I don't know why they had to drag this out.
30 seconds.
Yeah, 30 seconds, exactly. This is unnecessarily long. It's basically about a log peeker. Well, what it says there. But we've got some Facebook finding Bigfoot stuff there. The video confirms a heavy brow ridge, huge nocturnal eyes, tree hiding, peeking, observing from a strategic position. That's some vintage Facebook finding Bigfoot right there. Confirmed by Maximus Decimus Meridius 7-point video. But there's all this crap. There's all this unnecessary crap before we get to the video. And the video is there. It's like 6 minutes in to this 12-minute video.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. You fucking around. What's going on here? We're having a look around. Chupacabra. Ogopogo. There it is. There it is. Right there. There's nothing there. It's a blob. It's a blob. It's a bad blob. We've got some stabilizing going on. The black line actually goes over the supposed Bigfoot. That's unhelpful.
Mm-hmm.
But this video could have been, like Phil says, a minute. It's annoying. It's annoying and irritating. That's what this video is. Kevin, what do you think?
I'm actually going to agree with you, Richard. So there you go.
Jesus wept.
That's
hold on a minute, Kevin.
Okay.
I'm going to open my diary.
Mark
October 24th, 2020. Kevin agreed with me. Surprised emoji. Okay.
Well, no, remember that I'm being contrarian this week. But I do appreciate the fact that they did use the stabilization but I don't know what that was an aid of. You know what I mean? Because all the stabilization does and proves is that it's nothing, and that the difference between, and I think that this is true in most videos, your mind has a hard time discerning what's causing the perceived motion whether that's a shaky camera, which is usually what it is. Shaky cameras have created more Bigfoot than I think, God did. But anyway, but that's the true nature of this one here too. That basically a shaky camera gives you the idea that you've got movement in your video, and therefore then it makes it, and that tricks your brain into thinking you're seeing movement. But I don't think you are, and I think this is just basically nothing.
Okay. Chubbs, what did you think?
It's funny you said Facebook finding Bigfoot, because that's the same vibe I got when I was watching it. A nice bunch of little clips put together, and they went beyond the red circle and gave us a red square. I give them credit for that. That's a new
No, bad move.
Pushing boundaries, they're pioneers. But yeah, we all miss Facebook finding Bigfoot. They were a hilarious group of morons. It's a shame.
I'm sorry I got rid of him.
It's a shame they jumped the shark with the Rick Dyer stuff. I mean, we do miss Facebook finding Bigfoot. But yeah, Phil, what did you think?
It's motion distortion. That's why it looks like it's moving. The shutter can't keep up with what Kevin said was the shaking of the camera. It only captures at a certain rate, and if you have shaking back and forth, you're going to get a motion distortion as it captures the image. Mm-hmm. But it's not moving. There's nothing. It's a shadow. There's nothing there.
Right.
Well, there we go. Another mystery song by Power.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a basic BS video,
Right. And if people want to see that effect in operation, find a video of a helicopter that where the frame rate of the camera is the same as the frame rate of the rotor, and it looks like a helicopter is hovering in midair with a rotor prop that's just.
Let's not be confused though. That's not motion distortion.
No,
that's capture rate.
Yeah, but I mean, in some degrees, I mean, people are not. I mean, when you're looking at these different things, a lot of times people don't put two and two together whenever they're trying to put these different things on there. I understand what you're saying. I was trying to sound smart too, Phil. So
well, you are. I mean, obviously,
so screw you.
So you know you are. You actually brought up a good point. It looks like the rotor blades are standing still.
Yeah, but I'm just there's just a lot of stuff that you have to sort of try to take out of the picture. And again, I do appreciate that with Phil, because I think in a lot of ways he actually shows us different effects that that we don't think about. And I'm learning a lot from you, Phil.
Well, thank you, man.
and one of the things that I think is going to be fun, maybe next year, Phil and I are going to go out into the woods, and I'm going to get him to speak to Zorth.
I'm going to hug the trees and stomp on the roots and do some knives.
That would be the best video ever.
Well, no, I'm going to do it. I'm taking him out there. We already started talking about it a little bit. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna take him out, and we're gonna go to some different places that have some ghost places and different things like that. And we're just going to see what we can capture and what we experience, and maybe it'll just be two big guys in the woods, and maybe that'll be fun. But I think it'll be fun from that standpoint anyway.
Make that the title of your video.
Two big guys in the woods.
Two big guys in the woods. Okay. Have another commercial.
Yeah.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real Men of Genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Giant Taco Salad Inventor.
Mr. Giant Taco Salad Inventor.
Ground beef, refried beans, guacamole, cheese, sour cream, and if there's any room left, a few shreds of lettuce. A culinary creation that baffles the human mind. A 12,000-calorie salad.
Ah, caramba!
Some may ask, is your taco salad healthy? Of course it is. It's a salad, isn't it?
You can eat that deep fried crunchy bowl.
So crack open a nice cold Bud Light conquistador of a calorie. You put the feast in fiesta.
Mr. Giant Taco Salad Inventor.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay. All right. We move on to my favorite video of the night. This podcast, Mo and No Conspiracies. If you listen to any of their other podcasts, they're very big on their conspiracy theories. They talk about Bigfoot for a good 30 minutes. Most of it's just like going over stuff, because they're not in the community. So they don't really know the same stuff we do. They just talk about, generalizations, hypothetical on the existence of Bigfoot. But they do say something interesting, nay, compelling towards the end, which is, it only takes one of these things to be true, right? Of all the pictures, of all the videos, of all the footprints, it only takes one of them to be true for Bigfoot to be a thing, which I found, particularly compelling. It was a good point. Kevin, what do you think of this video?
I liked it. First of all, I want to ask a question. Which one of you sounds like you're plunging the toilet? There is something bleeding through that sounds like there was a there was a sign there for a minute that sounded like somebody stirring ice or something. Was that what that was? What that
Yeah.
was? Yeah. Okay.
That's my drink. Anytime you hear that,
okay. Yeah. I don't want any of those sound effects used.
I'm gonna stop stirring my drink.
No.
No, I can stop stirring it. It's no big deal.
You can do it. You can stir your drink, Phil. Whenever we put out Two Guys in the Forest, I don't want that signed anywhere.
Two big guys in the
Two
forest.
big guys in the forest, too.
Two big bears in the forest.
Yeah, that's exactly. Two bears in the forest, two. They're
okay.
The big footing.
Okay.
No, I liked it.
We're better than that. We don't.
Yeah, we are. Let's make things clear. You're better than that. I don't know if I'm better. But the thing I will say about this is I liked a lot of the points that the guy makes. There is I'm for some reason in the last week again, I'm there. There's weird sign things that are just tweaking my head out. There is a part of this video where it sounds like he's either hitting the table or something constantly, or something. I think since I was in the hospital last week, I've developed super hearing. There was like this sort of. It sounded to me like his microphone, mic arm was slowly descending the whole time, but. The idea of the video itself is very true. I am a firm believer in the fact that somewhere out there is evidence of Bigfoot, where somebody has literally poo-pooed the idea to somebody that they're just letting it sit there somewhere in somebody's house on something or else, or they've been hoaxed or something like that. But I am convinced that the story of Bigfoot is so ubiquitous that I think it's either part of our imagination that's just drilled into it, and therefore we perceive it to be real, or it actually is real. And I don't know if you'll ever prove one or the other, but I think that it's definitely something that that is part of the human experience to try to figure it out. That's what I'll say. So it has value, even if we never figure out if Bigfoot is real. Looking for it is to me part of discovering who we are. How do you like that for an anthropological answer?
Good answer. Plenty of salient points. Deep.
Oh, very good.
Phil, what did you think?
I think that first of all, kudos to the video. They obviously have a targeted audience. They're into, conspiracy theories, and they look at each theory from like the ground up. They examine each one and talk about the points. Obviously, they're not Bigfooters. For example, the Patty film. They said, what about that one that's up in Maine? They thought that the Patterson Gimlin was up in Maine, but
Ouch.
that gives you an idea that no, they're not into it. They don't know much about it, so they're kind of exploring this avenue with their audience as it happens with them. And I like that idea. You don't have to be a lot of people. If somebody who knew nothing about Bigfoot came onto this show and all of a sudden we're starting to talk about this and that, and they're going, "What the hell is they? What?" And we reference something, they do it from a different perspective, and they're also very open to it. They're not criticizing, and I like the point you brought up that towards the end, something that I have brought up before, but yeah, it's all it takes is one. If you actually see something that's very like for me, well, aside from my personal experience as a teenager, the Freeman footage, I can find nothing wrong with the Freeman footage.
Freeman footage, yeah, I get behind that. I mean, the Patterson film, now that it's been, redone up to 4K, it just looks fake to me. But the Freeman footage, it's eternal. It looks like a real creature.
Yeah, there's a reason why, in my mind, it looks like a real creature, is because I believe that is, in fact, a Sasquatch that we're looking at. And if it really is not, it's great to imagine that it is. But I'm almost certain that that's exactly what it is.
Okay, so Chubbs, me, Kevin, and Phil have all been very positive about this video. Why don't you say something negative about it?
If I could find something negative, is that they called Patty a he. They kept saying he for Patty. They didn't even know it was a girl.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's just ignorance.
Yeah, that's they thought it was in Maine. Yeah, I got that.
Well, maybe they thought he was Irish. Oh, Patty.
Hey,
geez, say whatever you want.
Yeah, so we celebrate his birthday in February.
Wow. All right, Chubbs, what was your opinion of this video?
I always like it when they don't make fun of it. A cat, talking about Bigfoot on a show not about Bigfoot. And this one shows, they talk about a lot of stuff on their show. I saw on their videos that sometimes it's funny that Bigfoot does cross over into all the other, like UFOs or, conspiracies, or like sometimes we still cross over into those other categories. So it's fun to see when some of these people give their opinions, and it's not, they don't lambast the whole thing and make fun of it. So it was nice.
Yeah, I was a fan of this video. It's definitely one of my favorite from this week. I will give these people a thumbs up.
And I think it's good that they can actually bring in certain different cross paranormal ideas into it to discuss it, because certain ones of us, although we've tried to bring in sort of paranormal explanations from a different way, that doesn't fly very well. So I mean, sometimes an outside person taking a look at it with fresh eyes is the best. And we will actually give people who are looking at it without being quote unquote steeped in the field more latitude than we would actually give each other our own sort of basically what I'm trying to say is we cut these guys more slack than we cut ourselves. And I think that's actually kind of sad in a certain way, but I think it's good, but I think it's sad because because they don't talk about this day in, day out, or week in, week out, such as we do, they don't have a dog in the fight. You know what I mean? So they can talk about it coming out of a spaceship and nobody's going to think they're nuts, but if we talk about it, then they're going to say, well, what's he doing? Why is he going that route? Idiot. And I hear that all the time whenever, a lot of times people say to me, I've had people since I've been doing this show send me something that says, why don't, whenever you start talking, you play that dream sequence music? So people know that you're speaking because you're out in La La Land. Well, that's fine too, but I'm just saying I like to present things from different standpoints as well too. Take it for a grain of salt, figure it out what it is. If you want to believe that I live in fairyland and dream sequences, that's fine too. But the reason that I talk about it, just like these guys are talking about it, just like we all talk about it, is because somebody is going to put together the answer. And I don't think the answer is going to be quite what we think we want it to be, because if it was what the answer is, what we want it to be, it would have been done and dusted 25, 30 years ago.
Fair enough.
Well, yeah. Okay.
Whatever, Phil.
All right, then. Have a final commercial before we move on to our last video.
My name is Scott McGrath. The day before my 8th birthday, I fell in a pile of fire ants and suffered significant wounds on over 70% of my body. Since that day, I have made a solemn vow to kill every insect on planet Earth. I hate them with the passion of a religious zealot. Speaking of religion, of all the biblical plagues, I hate the locust plague the most. For the last 12 years, my white-hot rage has materialized in the form of my business, McGrath Pest Control. I have harnessed this unforgivable intolerance of insects and released the wrath of my fury on bugs in and around the homes of Houston. I will kill those bugs in any way that I can. Chemicals, my boot, my bare fist, or any other object that can end the life of an insect. Call 281-469-8240 and give me the honor of killing bugs at your house. I also hate rats and spiders. Go to McGrathPestControl.com.
An authentic commercial and one of my favorites, by the way.
That is one of my favorites also. I'm a huge fan of that one. We move on to our final video of the night, and all I can say about this video is it is what it is. We see, he's out in the woods. It's winter. He sees a deer. Ooh, look at that deer. Check out the deer. Then suddenly, oh my God, stuff's getting real. Shit's getting real, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, there's a big thing. Oh, he turns on the light and it's clearly a suit. Oh my God. He's still standing there. He hasn't run away.
Well, you can actually see it moving a little bit there.
Yep.
Swaying back and forth.
Now he's running. Now he's running. Oh no. He's going to die.
Now take a look. Take a look at the movement of the camera and how it distorts and bends the image. It looks like it's wavy. See that?
Yep.
Yeah, that's.
What did you have to say about this?
Pile
of crap.
Well, it's the same. It's the same ghillie suit or outfit that he uses in all of his other videos, and he likes to hang it on a tree. In this case, probably an 8-foot tall sapling, and the weight of the outfit, coupled by the slight breeze, will cause it to rock back and forth. But that's kind of his Sonny Vader signature move.
It's a cool move.
Yeah, it's Sonny Vader. Just keep that in mind. I've done how many videos now about that guy? 4 or 5. Just watch any of his other ones. You'll see the same thing.
Let's watch it again. Here we go. There's a deer. Turns it around. Oh no! It's right there. And it hasn't killed him or made any aggressive movements towards it. The light comes on. Oh no! Oh no! He's still filming. Why hasn't he ran yet? No, it's coming towards him. No, it's swaying. Okay, edit there, and now he's running.
Yeah.
Now he's running. Now he's running. Okay.
Then the drama ends.
Then the drama's over.
Yeah.
All right, Chubbs, go on. Say something about positive about this video.
Well, if maybe he was out there calm enough to film the deer that a Bigfoot walked 2 feet from him, and he never heard it, and didn't care that he shined a light on it. We don't know. It could have been. It could have been a very peaceful Bigfoot, and that's why it just stood there and did nothing.
Bit of sarcasm there from the
Yeah.
show's positive P. Wow, even Chubbs hasn't got anything nice to say about this video. Kevin, surprise us.
I can't surprise you. I'm going to agree with Chubbs and say deaf, mute, blind hunter finds
Yeah.
Bigfoot.
A deaf, mute, blind Bigfoot.
It's not quite on the same level of comedy as the squirrel video, but it's up there. It's a pretty funny video. Let's watch it one more time. It's only a minute long. So here we go. So there's some deer. He looks down. What's over there? Nothing. Okay, so he's going to look back up. There's a deer again. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, look at
Nice
that
deer.
deer.
Nice deer.
Oh my God! Oh no! It's Bigfoot! Bigfoot's right there! Bigfoot's 2 feet away from me! What's gonna happen? Am I gonna die?
Run
Oh my
away!
God! Oh,
Run
there's a light.
away!
Oh my God! Oh my God! Run away.
Well, what I
Yeah.
don't like the expression on to me, the expression on the face of the supposed creature never changes, which
There's a reason for that.
yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it does have a Scooby Doo quality to it, and I at any minute expected somebody to pull it off and say, "Old Man Smithers."
I think that would be too much production value.
Yeah.
If I'm honest, I think that this was clearly just a fur coat or something that he'd hung in a tree. I mean, I don't even think there was anyone in the suit.
No. Well, no. There's no one in the suit. It's just a mask and the furry blanket that that Jungle Jim used, just hanging on a tree.
Good old Timber Giant. Now, you uploaded a video this week, but I didn't want to put it on because it was a bit lame. But, compared to some of our other videos.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's the level.
Yeah,
Timber Giant.
But this guy, he's like Butchie Kid, except he's actually trying to pull off a hoax rather than like Butchie Kid. He
was amazing.
It's obvious that it's a put on, a parody, whereas this guy's doing exactly the same thing, except he wants you to believe it. So that's kind of sad.
Yeah, we're not fans of that video at all. I'm not, at least. But that'll wrap us up for this week. Phil, you got any breakdowns coming out?
I think there's a Bigfoot Calls one that I wanna put up.
Chubbs, I assume you'll be reviewing some more horrible movies because Halloween's coming up.
We got our Poltergeist one is coming up, and a couple other horror things leading up to the Halloween extravaganza.
Are you doing Night of the Living Dead?
Not this year, no.
Oh man, you gotta do Night of the Living Dead. That's a classic Halloween movie.
True. It's definitely on there. We're more Return of the Living Dead style, but that's the grandfather where it comes from. So,
if I may interject, also since it is Halloween, and I haven't done this for several years, I think I'll put up my video about the Wah-Mee Club in Chinatown, the Wah-Mee Massacre for Halloween.
Ooh.
That's kind of dark, isn't it? I mean,
Yes.
most people don't know anything about the Wame
Yes. Well,
massacre, but
I kind of do the whole thing. It's a story type of a situation. It's not an
Super
investigation.
silent
It's just a
video.
story, and I
Oh.
kind of roll it out as a story and what happened and everything. So,
It's
but
a
I try to make it interesting.
It's a
Yeah.
vintage Super Soylent video, that.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I've seen the Wame massacre video several times. I'm a big fan of the old Super Soylent style, as you know. But yeah, cool. We'll bring that back. Yeah, this week is Halloween week. Halloween is on Saturday, or what's it called? Samhain, if you're a
no,
pagan.
Shawan.
Shawan.
Yeah.
Shawan. Now, a lot of people don't think that that you have to say it like you're literally who's that guy? The first James Bond.
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery. That's right. You have to
Yes.
say it like a see,
Yes.
most people call it Sam Hain, but it's not a Shawan.
Shawan.
There
There's
you
only
go.
one Bond, and that's Timothy Dalton. All right.
Yeah. Well, I was just giving you a thing. If you want to impress an Irish speaker
Shawan.
with how it is, it's Shawan.
Shawan.
There you go.
Anyway, yeah, the doors to the netherworld will be open. Feel free to communicate with your dead if you're Mexican. Happy Dios de la Muerta if you're
Sí. Que bueno.
American. Happy All Hallow Eve. If you're British, who gives a fuck about it? It's just the 31st of October. We don't care about that shit. We will return next week, despite the hopes of many. Wrap us up for this week.
Gonna have to-